My name is Daniel from the affirmative side, and I'll be providing the opening statement for our team. Our team strongly believes in the notion that developed countries have more obligation to participate in the war against climate change. And I would first like to define developed countries as countries that have already secured a stable economy and a stable GDP and have finance to back their economy. The first reason for believing in the first reason for my stance is that global developed countries have more finance to use against global warming and climate change. For example, countries like Brazil, Malaysia do not have enough finance to put into use for global warming, which is not their main concern. Their main concern currently is fighting the current economic crisis, which has spread its influence over underdeveloped countries the most. And because they have a more serious problem that is facing their society right now, they do not have the time and the money to put into use for global warming. But countries like the US and England and France are currently in an economic crisis, but still they still have enough money to spend against the spread of climate change, and therefore countries that have developed more should have more obligation to spend their money and time on fighting global warming. And going into my second argument, our second argument is that developed countries are more responsible for the spread of global warming currently. This is because, as seen in the example of the Great Revolution, countries like England and France first used fossil fuels and other such factors that cause global warming first, and they used it the most because they were the first to use it. But countries like India and Brazil did not actually spend as much of fossil fuels as countries that have already developed. This is because the countries that have already developed already overcame the because the developed countries already spent a lot more because the developed countries already spent more on fossil fuels that were the main factors that caused global warming. So it is their responsibility to take care of climate change. And because of these two reasons, our team strongly believes in the notion that developed countries have more obligation to participate in the fight against global warming and climate change. Thank you.